Hello, everyone. This is an overview of Chapter 10, QBO Reports. So let me share my screen. And I'm going to get my PowerPoint ready. There we go. Chapter 10, QBO Reports. In Chapter 10, you're going to learn a little bit about the accounting cycle. Again, because we did this in Chapter 9, but they'll review that. Also, they'll talk about the adjusted trial balance. And that's just a trial balance that's after the adjusting journal entries. And the adjusted trial balance is the trial balance that we use to prepare our financial statements. You'll learn how to navigate reports, and you'll be able to get to 3 of the financial statements: profit and loss, which is the income statement, balance sheet, and statement of cash flows. We'll also go over in this chapter management reports. Also, we'll talk about tags, which help us track how we make money and send money. Okay. Now, in our sat nav illustration, the author has this chapter under reports. We're not going to do any transactions. We're just going to be running reports. And of course, that's the end result of all this work. These reports is why we do everything we did before. The adjusted trial balance is prepared after adjusting entries are made to view updated account balances and to verify the accounting system still balances. Now, in the old days, a trial balance was extremely important because if your trial balance didn't balance, you know that you had an error and you had to fix the errors. If debits didn't equal credits, then your balance sheet would never balance. So you'd have to go and check that out. In a computerized system, in on-screen forms and the journal, QuickBooks generally is not going to let you make a transaction that doesn't balance. So checking the debits and credits is probably less important because it's built into the software to make sure that doesn't happen. Again, you're going to use the adjusted trial balance to prepare your financial statements. An important thing that you're going to do in Chapter 10 is cross-check your adjusted trial balance with the adjusted trial balance provided in your text. This is on page 479. If your balances are not the same, then you could do some troubleshooting, and you can go to Chapter 10 and then Section 2, or you can go to Appendix D for troubleshooting tips. But you know what? I made this fairly simple for you because in Canvas, I gave you reports to check so you can find your errors quickly. One of the ones that I think would be very powerful is the General Ledger report, because you can see my balance and all the transactions that made up that balance. You can compare then to your General Ledger, and if your ending balance doesn't agree with mine, you can go one by one and cross-check mine with yours and find why you're off. Okay, so you've got that. Also, I've given you the journal report. So these are all the journal entries that you should have made throughout the semester to this point. Very powerful stuff. Okay, as far as navigating reports, we're going to use the navigation bar. We go to reports, and then reports are kind of segregated into standard, custom, and management reports. You'll spend a lot of time here in standard, but we're going to customize some of our reports, and those custom reports will be put under the custom reports tab, and you'll see what I'm doing. Okay, what I mean by that. Okay. there are three main financial statements that QuickBooks offers. Profit and loss, also called the income statement. We have the balance sheet, and we have the statement of cash flows. In general, financial statements are found under the Standard Reports tab, Business Overview category. And just as a note, that the profit and loss statement can be prepared on either the accrual basis or cash basis. Let's talk about management reports. Management reports are prepared as needed to provide management with information for making operating and business decisions. The management reports would include, and there's I think 5 of them. The first 2 are these. First is, the category is who owes you. That would be your accounts receivable, right? Who owes you? And the reports that you would find there would be something like AR aging, okay? And then you also have another category, sales and customer reports. And those reports would be like income by customer. So what's the difference? Well, I found that who owes you are based upon amounts that the customers owe you, where the sales and customers reports are focused in on transactions, on customer and sales transactions. Likewise, we have a category for what you owe, and you'll find reports such as the accounts payable aging summary, okay? And then there's another category called expenses and vendors report. There you'll see reports such as open purchase orders. Now, when I was trying to make sense of this, I said, well, what's the difference? What would you find here versus here? Well, what you owe focuses on the amounts that you owe, where expenses and vendors reports focus on vendor and expense transactions. So keep that in mind. It kind of helps you organize your thoughts while you try to figure out what report you need. And finally, we have for my accountant reports. That would include the trial balance, the general ledger, and the journal. Now, I've given you the general ledger, my general ledger report, and my journal report, so that, well, these are the answers. I mean, this is, the general ledger report will have the ending balances, and it will show you all the transactions that make that balance up. So if your balance is off, well, run your general ledger report, look at my general ledger report, and find out why your balance doesn't agree with mine. And it'd be easy to do. And of course, the journal is all of the transactions that you've made for the month of January. So you can compare my journal to your journal and find any errors that you might have. Now, there's also this thing called audit log, and audit log appears in the business overview category, but it could be considered a report used by an accountant. So that just kind of tells us, what you've done and that type of thing. So anyway, you can check that out. You can read more about that in the book. And then we have this thing called tags. And tags are just electronic labels, and tags can be added to money in and money out transactions. And tags can be customized to meet specific business needs. So it's just to help organize yourself and give you information. So how do you get to tags? Hit the gear icon, go to tags, and here you are. You're in the tags area. And I would recommend that you review the video here. This is from Intuit. It's only like three minutes long, and it does help you understand what we're going to be doing. So here, when you hit new, you're going to add some tag groups. And then under those groups, you'll add some actual tags. Okay, so you just go ahead and read all about that, but that's kind of an overview of that. And then at the end in section 10.12, accounting essentials reports, we can categorize 3 types of financial reports. One is financial statements, and they're used by investors and creditors. In our financial accounting course, in Accounting 4A, we talked about users of financial statements, internal users and external users. But this is really the end result of all of our work, these reports. And these users of the financial statements are going to use them to make business decisions. Another type of financial reports are tax forms and the reports, and they're to provide information to tax authorities. For instance, you can prepare a form 941, which is reporting your federal payroll taxes. And the third category is management reports, to provide information to management for operating and business decisions. And we went over that a little bit earlier, like, what you owe and what others owe you, those type of things. Very helpful. Okay. Well, that's going to do it. This is a pretty basic chapter, I think. It's more self-explanatory. Hopefully you won't have as many problems as you have in some of the other chapters. So anyway, I'm going to sign off because I think that's it. Let me stop the share here. Perfect. Okay. See you later. Study hard. Bye-bye.